Hello, welcome to The Pursuit of Truth. It is the 14th of September 2018, and we're talking about space, the final frontier. So I couldn't help that. So I was watching James Brown on YouTube, and there was some guy who was talking about his proof of flat Earth is all the NASA stuff from the Apollo mission. And so, obviously, I remembered Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey, because Jamie was saying, obviously, governments and people, they have technology before we have it. So, obviously, Stanley Kubrick, with a pretty standard technology and some amount of money, managed to make a film that even to this day, if you watch the space parts of 2001, they're still very impressive, amazingly so. It looks real, as in like the NASA stuff, if that's real, you know what I'm trying to say. So he managed to do that, and obviously that was released in 1968, 1 year before the Apollo mission. Obviously that would have started years before. It doesn't take 1 year to make a movie. They would have been making those special effects for a long time. And also he was inspired by a Canadian movie called Universe, which is from 1960. And if you watch that as well, I'll put both the links on Jamie's comment section. It's called Universe from 1960, and it's not as impressive as 2001, but it's still pretty good. And pretty normal tech that I'm sure they used to do that. So then you imagine how much money that NASA has. If you think, if people are stupid to say, whether you believe it or not, but if you're stupid to say that it's impossible, well, you're lying, because you've seen films. You can go back and see 1968, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and that's one man, with a big team and some money, making a film for, he made that film to make money, or he may not have done it, he may have made it for the love of making a film, but the production company, was it Universal, Warner Brothers, or whoever it was, they wanted to make money out of that movie, and that's why they put money into it. So obviously, the more money and the more skills you have, obviously you could replicate this. Stanley Kubrick was a director, he didn't do the special effects. That would have been hundreds, maybe thousands of different people that contributed, ordinary people. Those same ordinary people could be employed by NASA and could always be working for NASA. So it's not impossible. It's easy. We already do it. If you think about this, you say, well, it's impossible to fake the Tesla car. It's impossible to fake the moon missions and all that stuff. Well, just look at all the movies, and obviously, as Adam F.E., which Jamie shadowed one of his videos. He had another video that it was shadowed from someone else, actually, Shawnee, I think it was, which showed lots of different clips, and it showed gravity, as another good example of like this day and age. When you see the Tesla car and say, no, it's possible to fake that. It looks so real. It's so fake. Whereas you look at gravity, and I love that. I loved that film when I saw it, and I saw it in 3D. Oh my God. But they showed on that video that Adam F.E. shadowed. It showed a clip of Sandra Bullock, by a green screen, using like a laptop on some strings. So easy to fake. She's just, on some wires in front of a screen. But when you look at that film, you don't think about the fact that, that's what they did. A lot of that film would have been her in a small little room with a covering and some wires and people prodding her and turning around and spinning her. But when you look at the film, you don't think about that. It looks so real that you think, yeah, she's in space. They filmed that in space. Obviously they didn't film it in space, but you think that you don't know how much fakery that goes on until you actually see these clips of how they make movies. So obviously it's very possible to fake anything, because we as human beings are already faking life in movies, and we have been doing for hundreds of years. Since the Lumiere brothers. Or even probably before that. So, and interestingly, their movies were about the moon, weren't they? Although they're not as convincing as 2001. But you see what I mean? It's not impossible, because we already fake life through movies all the time, and television. It is fake because it's not real, isn't it? So, come on. That is not a logical or a good enough excuse to use that it's impossible to do, because you know it is. You just don't believe that you know. You just don't think that you know. Well, I can't even say the words, but you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, that's enough for me. Take care, take it easy, God bless, and peace.